Most newborn babies, they want to sleep on mom or dad, but how can you do that while still functioning? The carrier is going to make the whole difference. If you're watching this video, congratulations! You're expecting a baby to join your family very, very soon. Outside of you and milk, your baby really only needs diapers. But if you want the essentials and want to cut out the fluff, I have 10 items that will help you survive the first year of parenting that you can add to your registry now. Hi, my name is Pauline and I'm a first-time mom. And when I was preparing for our son to arrive, I felt so overwhelmed by all of the items out there on the market. I honestly feel like they can sense the fear and the anxiety that new parents have when welcoming a new baby into the family. I honestly felt guilty that my son didn't have the best and the coolest gadgets out there. But I quickly learned that he didn't care about that stuff at all. All he really wanted was me. And that's true for you and your new baby as well. Whether you want to buy some items yourself, you have family who want to give a gift for the new baby, or maybe you want to search Facebook Marketplace for the latest discounts, here are the only 10 items you need to have a successful first year of parenting. The first item is a car seat. And of course, this is number one because you can't leave the hospital without it. This item is going to be something you use every single day or at least a couple of times a week depending on how much you travel or your family is in the car. But this is going to be something that your baby is going to be nice and cozy in. Sometimes babies love falling asleep in the car seat. I know our son has taken some good naps in the car seat throughout his time with us, and that's something that you want to make sure you feel very, very comfortable with. Now, just because you want a car seat that is safe doesn't mean that it has to be the most expensive. Just because a car seat costs a lot doesn't mean that it's the safest. Most car seats out there fit the regulations and they're going to be something that's going to keep your baby safe in the event of an accident. So get what fits your budget. If you can even get one off of Facebook Marketplace or borrow one from a family or friend, you're going to save yourself a whole lot of money. The second item you want to get is a stroller. Now, a stroller is not as essential as a car seat, but it is going to make your life as a new parent so much more enjoyable. Getting outside, going for walks, getting fresh air is not only going to be a good rest and a good break in your day amongst all the bottles and the formula and the milk and the crying, but it's also going to be a nice refresher for your baby. A lot of babies actually sleep better when they get some vitamin D, some sunlight, and some fresh air. So make sure you get a stroller. And I would even recommend getting a stroller that is compatible with your car seat. This will make those transfers from the car to the walker on the park a lot easier. Some car seats have adapters that go along with the strollers or vice versa, and that just makes your life so much easier. The next essential item that you want to get is a sound machine. So this is going to be the beginning of sleep association or sleep training for your newborn. Whether you decide to sleep train officially or formally or not, this is going to be a key item that helps you sleep better and helps babies sleep better in the beginning stages after they're home. I read that the inside of the uterus and inside of mom's body actually is as loud as a vacuum to a baby. So they're used to hearing all these whooshing and whirring sounds, and the sound machine is actually comforting to them because they're looking to recreate that experience that they had in the womb. That's why they like to be swaddled, they like to be all warm and cozy up next to you and want to sleep on you. The sound machine helps with that. The sound machine will also help you sleep when baby's sleeping in the room with you, will help cancel out all of that noise and will help your mind be at rest. And that's honestly something that you don't ever have to wean the baby off of, because sound machines are helpful for adult sleep and they can kind of sleep with the sound machine all throughout through their toddlerhood and beyond if they want to. The sound machine was so key for us when we first brought Joshua home because it helped simulate that sound. We love the Hatch Baby sound machine that we have and Joshua still uses now because it grows with your child. We use this from day one when we brought Joshua home. We had it on in our room and he used to sleep in our room with the bassinet, and now he has it in his room and it grows with him. We love it because it's accessible. You can find it in almost any store. It grows with your child and it has a really easy to use app with different settings and different options on there as well. The fourth essential item is a baby carrier. Now you can either start with a wrap style carrier or with the traditional kind of clipping carriers. We had both. The wrap style is great for newborns, especially if your baby is super small, like how Joshua was. He was only 4 pounds, 8 ounces when he was born, so he wouldn't have been big enough for those traditional style carriers. So the wraps were great, especially when baby's super clingy and they don't want to be put down. He used to fall asleep in those carriers, and that was great for me to, when I started cooking dinner again and wanted to do chores around the house, a way to kind of be mom and have 2 free hands while also doing chores around the house and things like that. The carrier is also really great if your baby won't sleep off of you. If baby will only sleep on you, the carrier is great for that as well. Of course, I was terrified as a parent, just being afraid that, like, oh, I don't want him to sleep on me. What if he rolls off? The good thing is I used to put the carrier and the wrap on, and he could sleep on there, and then I would sleep on the chair, on the couch, or on the bed, and I know that if my hands would drop, he wouldn't fall. So that's another great kind of hack or tip to use with the carrier, and why I say it's essential, because most newborn babies, they want to sleep on mom or dad, but how can you do that while still functioning? The carrier is going to make the whole difference. The carrier was also great because I actually loved the carrier for walks over the stroller, especially when I would go on walks by myself, because I could just strap Joshua in and home and then go out and walk, and my hands would be free. I wouldn't have to push the stroller or anything like that. So that's another great thing to use for the carrier. It's less clunky if you're taking baby out somewhere where there's a huge crowd, or you just don't want to have to worry about the stroller being in the way. Like, thinking about like concerts or like farmers markets, or just things like that where you're going to be walking around a lot. You don't want to you want to be hands-free, you don't want to worry about the stroller. The carrier is really great for that. The 5th essential item that you want to get for your new baby is a bassinet. These are great because they're smaller than cribs, and you can find a little nook or corner in your room for the bassinet to be, or you can just really scoot it right next to your side of the bed if you're breastfeeding, or just for quick cuddles or soothing the baby when they wake up in the middle of the night. Go cheap and go convenient. You do not have to get a fancy bassinet, because honestly, a lot of them, what they claim to do, your baby doesn't care and they're not going to really like pay attention to that. We did get a super bougie and expensive one for Joshua that we rented because to save space, because we wanted to get rid of the bassinet after he was done with that. But you don't have to get one of the cool ones that vibrates or that hushes or smooths or whatever, all the different movements and things that they do, because like they only work up to a certain point. If your baby's uncomfortable, they're uncomfortable. Facebook Marketplace is a great place for bassinets, or even like, again, borrowing one from a friend, because bassinets are something that you use temporarily. That's why you don't want to make too big of an investment on them, because, you know, after 5 or 6 months or even 4 months, if your baby grows like a weed like Joshua did, they're not going to be able to fit in the bassinet anymore. So just make sure that you're doing something that's smart, and then by that time you can give yourself some time to decide what you're going to do about the crib, or where you're going to put that, or what type of crib you want to get. The 6th essential item is bottles. Of course, you need bottles when you have a baby. Babies need bottles to eat. Whether your baby is formula fed or breastfed, I highly recommend investing in some good bottles. Now, there are so many different bottles out there, it's kind of hard to know which ones to get or which ones are best. And honestly, I don't think that there is ones that are greater or worse than the others. There's so many free ones that you can get out there, either from Amazon with their registration. They give out like free gift baskets or welcome packets to parents, and that Target does the same. But honestly, whatever bottle works for your baby, you can just go off of recommendations from other people. Or they even have these bottle packs, like a sample box of different types of bottles. I know some babies are really picky about their bottles, some babies aren't, but the different nipple flow and different sizing and all these different things to try to stimulate the breast, it all just really depends. But you do need some good bottles. I would say at least 4 bottles per day. The more bottles you have, the less dishes you have to do. And obviously, depending on like kind of your lifestyle, if your child goes to daycare or if they're home all day, kind of like, you know, you have to send bottles to daycare, whatever the case is. But make sure you get some good bottles. We liked the Nuke bottles because they came in a good size and they were bigger. Joshua's milk intake increased rapidly, and we got those bottles based off of that one of those sample boxes that I shared. The 7th essential item is a bottle warmer. Now this may be kind of obvious for formula fed babies, but Joshua was exclusively breastfed, and honestly, because that was my plan when I was pregnant, I wasn't gonna get a bottle warmer. I was thinking, like, why does he need a bottle warmer? Like, I knew we were gonna have bottles for when, like, Tim or somebody else fed him my breast milk, but I didn't think about the bottle warmer. I don't know why. So I'm sharing that because if you are a first-time parent or about to be a first-time parent, maybe you're like me and you didn't think, oh, breastfed babies don't need bottle warmers. But they are, even if they only eat fresh breast milk, eventually they're going to need to warm up the frozen breast milk that you store in the freezer. Bottle warmers can be super cheap. It doesn't really matter which one you got. Eventually you'll need to warm up frozen milk, and you cannot microwave breast milk. I learned that's a no-no. And also just warming it up on like the stove top or kind of like more traditional way can take longer, so you definitely want to get a bottle warmer. The 8th item is a play gym. So these are something that I didn't really consider to be necessary for babies, especially like newborns, and they're probably not going to use it in the first couple of weeks, but it's nice because it gives them something to do, and it also gives them an opportunity to practice their gross motor skills. Now babies, sometimes, you know, depending on what type of baby you have, they may feed for a long time, they may not, they may have longer or shorter wake windows. But the play gym is really great in order to give them something to look at. The play gym is an awesome opportunity for them to practice tummy time, which most babies hate, but it's something for them to start to get used to, and again, to practice those gross motor skills. The play gym is great because it keeps them out of containers. Now, I talked about brachycephaly, plagiocephaly, and flat head syndrome that is caused by containers that Joshua was actually diagnosed with when he was 4 months old. The play gym, if we had him in the play gym or on the play gym a little bit more, I wish I knew back then how important it was to keep him more so on the floor with the play gym versus in these containers. The 9th item is a changing pad. Now I know this might sound a little bit unnecessary because you may think like, oh, I'll just change the baby on the floor, on the bed, and you absolutely can. Now, when I first heard changing pad, I thought about the foldable ones, and we have one of those for travel or in Joshua's diaper bag as well. But I love the changing pad for at home because they're so easy to clean. Your baby will have plenty of blowouts, and baby poop is just so sticky and it gets everywhere, but these changing pads are a lot easier to clean up, especially with this type of like the wipeable surface versus having a cloth pad or one of the covering. So I'm so glad that we got this. And even the changing pad that we have even has a scale in it, which was great for measuring Joshua's weight in between doctor's appointments. And that's great for parents who have smaller babies like we did, and we were curious about, you know, how much he was gaining, and even to do like weight checks for breastfed babies to make sure that they are gaining the appropriate amount of weight at the appropriate amount of time. These are great because you can put them either on the floor or on your dresser top, which is where we mostly have ours, but they're so versatile. The 10th and final essential item that you want as a first-time parent is a diaper caddy. Now, this thing was the best investment that we could have brought into our home as first-time parents, especially living in a smaller space. This thing is so easy to pick up. We brought it in the car with us before. You can bring it from room to room without having to worry about, oh, where are the diapers, where's the diaper cream, where are the wipes, where are all the things. Everything that you need is right there with you. And it's great for when you have babysitters come over or grandparents come over to watch the baby. You can just hand them that and that's all you need. We would keep an extra pair of clothes in there for Joshua whenever he'd have blowouts. Diapers, wipes, his diaper cream, just everything that you need can be in that diaper caddy, and it is so cheap, so easy to use, and you can even kind of make your own or DIY this if you'd like. If you plan to breastfeed, check out this video for the top products you need to make more milk as a new mom. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.